So hello everyone. What I'm working on today is I have this quilt that I put together. It's a really cute pattern. Kind of looks like lattice. And then in between the blocks here I've got flowers, all from my stash. So anyways, for a backing, I'm really trying to use up my stash. Okay, that is some sunflowers. It's got a grouping of sunflowers at this edge, and then they get a little bit bigger as you go. You kind of see that. So that's going to be kind of centered in the back. What I need to add for borders on this one here, and I have this material that I absolutely hate. It's this, and I have a lot of it. It's green with little white flowers in it. I think this is the ugliest fabric. Well, I do have one more uglier fabric in my stash. I'm not kidding. It's just really awful. But this is how I'm going to use this up. So I know what I have to cut my borders around that daisy material. Yes, I did kind of put these together to see how they would look together, like that. And my camera shut off. So I think they'll look good together, and this will make like a separate quilt on the back, which I like. So I've done my measurements, and I need to do side borders of 11 inches. I have to have enough overhang. I'm going to be quilting this myself because of that lattice. I want to do something in between the lattice, and that would be way too expensive to send to the quilter. When you have something custom like that, the price goes up like you wouldn't believe. So I am going to be quilting this myself. So I know that I have to have 11 inches on each side of the quilt, and then another 10 inches on each end, and then that should give me enough room for quilting because it'll bunch up a little bit. So anyways, that's how you kind of start the piecing process of the back of a quilt. Okay, so I have my borders done, and I was really running close to running out of material. So I'm going to do my long sides first. Which means I can pin right up to that edge. But at this point too, I like to trim a little bit of this excess off. And then I'll use that excess if I need to on the other width of it. I lay anything on my big board, and this is what I get. He's like, ooh, look what she laid out for me. Yeah. You think that's for you to lay on? Okay, so I laid out my next side pieces, well actually top and bottom, and this is kind of funny. So I am literally like 2 inches short, maybe about 1.5 inches at the seam in there. So do I sew another piece on there? You know, this is just for room for me to quilt it a little bit, so I'm not sure. I think I might just leave it. I think I'm going to just leave it. That is such a short amount. I'm not kidding. It's about 1.5 inches. So I think it'll be alright. So this is the same edge of the quilt right here. So on this one, on the one side, this is where I'm short. So I want to make sure when I pin this other one that I'm going all the way to the edge. So when I have to trim off Just make sure I'm trimming off the same amount off each side. Will just help balance it out a little bit. I don't know how much I'm going to be cutting off of each side yet. This is part of the piecing a back problems. A little bit more thinking. Okay, I got my borders all on, and I am so far backed up in my small living room trying to show you how it looks. So there I go. I have my backing on my quilt, or a quilt that I already did, top quilt. I think it looks nice. And I got rid of that material I couldn't stand and took care of this big yellow sunflower material that I was never going to use.